Yep. Thanks, Chris.
So, Coach, how do you transform a brave effort against a good side away into a win against a good side at home?
Yeah, well, we had a good look during the week at our second quarter, and with the playing group, we watched the whole lot and sat down and worked out what was so good about it, and chatted about the idea that we just need to play that way for longer. I think with our younger group, sometimes they struggle with the effort and the intensity that's required because their bodies aren't yet conditioned fully to AFL football. But you know what we got out of that quarter was that our good's really good, and that we've got to find ways to continue to grow our ability to play like that more consistently.
Do you think oppositions, even if you're piling scoreboard pressure on them, they perhaps don't drop the bundle as quickly as they would against other sides because they know Brisbane are a momentum side and they know at some point they're going to get their chance?
Yeah, or possibly that's a fair comment, and we're trying not to be a momentum team.
Yeah.
We really want to be a team that grinds away to win and doesn't concede too many goals in a row, and but that's a work in progress, but we're very aware of that, and we'll continue to work away at it, talk about it, practice it, and hopefully over time, as we gather more experience, we'll be able to do it. But that's definitely where we're at, and that is definitely what other opposition clubs would be saying about us, and that's fair enough.
You've touched on the youth, but is that the primary reason why your 4 quarters have tailed off?
Well, certainly not our fitness, because we look at our GPS numbers and how hard we're running and all that sort of stuff, and we're certainly not dropping away. Perhaps it's a little bit of our younger players just conditioning to AFL footy. It's a little bit of belief too, I guess, from having had a period of time at the club where we haven't won a lot of games of football and just knowing how to get to the line. So they're all things that we talk about on a regular basis. We don't shy away from the truth. We just have to get better at those things, and we're impatient. I have to be impatient and patient on that sort of topic. We're not happy that it's happening, and we've got to keep working away at it. But as long as we're seeing growth and improvement in those areas, we'll be satisfied with that, because we know in the end we'll get there.
Do you feel like you've got the right, level of young players that can get to that level? That it's only a matter of time before they fall into this group? Yeah,
only time will tell. I mean, it's a pretty exciting team when you look at our spine with, McStay's bobbed up in the last few weeks, Harris Andrews at centre half back, and then Hipwood and Shaq. They're young men, 21 years or under, which is, bright for our future. We drafted this year with our midfield in mind, and guys like McCluggage and Berry will just be benefiting from the games that they're getting at the moment. So we feel like we're putting a team in place that down the track's going to become very competitive. But we want to become competitive as soon as possible, and to a degree we have been. We've been in with a chance to win 4 of our 5 games. We haven't been good enough to go on with it, but I think this time last year, I think we'd been in front in 18% of the time in games. It's up to 37-38% now, so that's growth, and they're the sort of things that you look at. How many quarters can you win? How long can you be in front for? Those sorts of things.
Chris, what do you make of the midfield matchups? Port don't have Travis Boak, but they've got a couple of decent ones still, young and old, I guess.
Yeah, they've got a very good midfield, and they bring Hamish Hartlett back in, who probably slot into that spot that Boak's vacated, I would have thought. So the midfield battle's critical tomorrow. It is every week. You want to win the territory battle. You want to get the ball in your half. And look, our midfielders have been great this year. So it'll be a key part of the outcome tomorrow night. And hopefully our mids can bring their best game, and that the guys like Rocky and Beamsy and Zorks get support from the other guys around them to help them get the job done.
Have you had to tell the guys that these honourable losses aren't good enough?
I think if you've been listening to my press conferences, I haven't been giving ourselves a pat in the back for honourable losses. We're in the business of winning, and we're in the business of improving, and we're in the business of learning to win. And so our losses, as honest as they've been, we really only treat them like learning experiences to learn to win.
Coach, you mentioned drafting to bolster your midfield the previous year. You brought in some height. your experience at Hawthorn would tell you that you can build a dynasty on clumping in drafts if you get a couple of good picks in. You've done that, haven't you? Like you must be feeling the building blocks are there.
Oh yeah, the building blocks are there. We've got some other, we'd like to add a bit more depth to the midfield and probably build our depth with small forwards as well, with speed. But yeah, the building blocks are in place, which is exciting for us going forward. It's better to be able to say that than stand here and say we've got all these worries and concerns. It's just it's a time game now and a development game and gathering experiences at AFL footy that's important to us.
Is it something you can change, do you feel like, with one win, or is it over a season that you really judge of how a team's going to develop it?
No, it's really over a season. You look at certain stats, as I talked about before, quarters won, how long in games you've been in front, that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much how I'd answer that.
What about just getting? Obviously, you'd love to get the ball inside 50 more. You've shown that you aren't getting it in there very often.
No.
But you've probably shown that when you do, you're pretty efficient.
Yeah, we'd like to get it in there more. Sometimes we're perhaps a little bit slow with our movement. We need to take the game on a bit more and be a bit braver. And sometimes when we have been brave, we've turned it over. But we've got to keep being brave because in the end, it'll enable us to have more inside 50s without doubt.
I saw that you picked close. Well, are you thinking that one of your young, really tall forwards may ruck a little? What's your thinking behind bringing, or do you just think you can expose them with height?
Oh, probably. I'm pretty keen on 3 tall forwards, and so are the rest of the coaches. And we've got a lot of good young tall forwards on our list.
Yep.
And just waiting for an opportunity to play them together. So we thought we'd bring Closey in. He can also help out in the ruck, as can Shaq, who's been playing in the ruck a little bit in more recent times. So it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes too, when you play 3 talls, it's more of a chance that one of them are going to get out and score some goals. If you play 2, it's perhaps a little bit easier for the opposition to stop them. It's a little bit horses for courses, but this time around we've opted for 3 talls.
So what sort of pressure does that put on the defensive efforts of your smaller forwards, because good sides generate off halfback?
Well, what you're hoping for is that your big tall forwards, if they can't mark it, they're going to bring the ball to ground in a fairly predictable spot that allows you to sort of get in there and collapse on that footy and either win it and score or at least lock it in and get some stoppages. So and we expect our tall forwards to play when the ball hits the ground and make their second and third efforts. And you look at guys like Eric Hipwood and Shaki and Closey, they're pretty mobile types. They can actually do that. So we'll be putting a bit of pressure on those guys to play their role in the pressure side of the game.
Is Cutler back pretty quick, or is that about what you expected?
Yeah, it was just a minor hamstring. So yeah, the expectation was that he was just going to miss one game. So that's how it's turned out.